Nestled in the snow-covered hills of a faraway land, there lay a little village called Starry Hollow. Every year as Christmas approached, the villagers gathered in the town square to string garlands of holly and spruce and hang silver lanterns that shimmered like stars. But the pride of Starry Hollow was a set of enchanted bells hanging high in the old church tower. It was said their sound was so pure and so sweet it could summon the spirit of Christmas itself, spreading joy and kindness far and wide. But there was a rule, an unspoken one, whispered only by the elders. The bells would only ring for those whose hearts were pure and who gave freely, expecting nothing in return. Now there lived in the village a girl named Eliza, with hair the color of chestnuts and a heart brimming with dreams. She lived with her grandmother, weaving ribbons and tending to their small, snow-dusted garden. Though they had little, Eliza never let it dampen her spirit. Every Christmas she dreamed of hearing the bells ring, for she had never been able to. One bitterly cold December, a strange man arrived in the village. He was tall and cloaked in shadows, with a voice like the crunch of ice. He called himself Silas and claimed to be a merchant of rare treasures. Silas brought with him wondrous goods, golden clocks that ticked backward, mirrors that showed your fondest memories, and boxes that played music when you spoke a wish. But more than his wares, Silas was intrigued by the legend of the bells. Why do they not ring? He asked the villagers. No one could answer, for no one had heard them in years. Silas's sharp eyes gleamed with curiosity and a hint of greed. He vowed to hear their sound, even if it meant unearthing the deepest secrets of Starry Hollow. Silas tried everything. He made generous offerings at the church, rang the bells himself, to no avail, and even offered rewards to anyone who could solve the mystery. But the bells remained silent. Eliza watched from afar, her heart heavy. She had no riches to offer, no great deeds to perform, but one night, as the village slumbered beneath a blanket of stars, she had an idea. She took a small loaf of bread, her grandmother's only blanket, and a red ribbon she had woven herself. Quietly, she slipped through the streets, leaving the bread on a poor family's doorstep, the blanket with an ailing shepherd, and the ribbon on the grave of a young boy who had passed that autumn. As Eliza turned to leave, a soft, silvery chime filled the air. She froze, her breath visible in the cold. From the church tower, the enchanted bells rang out, their melody cascading like a waterfall of light. It was not the grand gestures of wealth or ambition that moved them, but the simple acts of kindness done in silence, without expectation of reward. The villagers woke to the sound, rushing into the streets. They saw Eliza standing in the square, her cheeks rosy with cold, tears streaming down her face as the music swelled around her. Silas, too, emerged, his shadowy presence dimmed by the bell's glow. He said nothing, but he watched Eliza closely, as though seeing something he had long forgotten. From that day on, the bells rang every Christmas Eve, their song a reminder that the true spirit of the season lay not in treasures or grand gestures, but in the quiet, unassuming kindness that blooms in the hearts of the selfless. As for Silas, he vanished as mysteriously as he had come. Some say he left to seek his own way to ring the bells, while others whisper he was never truly a merchant at all, but a spirit sent to test the village. And in Starry Hollow, where the bells rang pure and clear each year, the people lived, loved and gave, never forgetting the girl whose gentle heart had brought Christmas home.